welcome back to another episode of Starving Artists. I'm your host, LJ, and I have yet another exciting episode lined up today. Today on the podcast, I got battle rap phenom, superstar freestyler, and just an all-around great dude, Isaac Knox. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. How long's it been? It's been about a year? Two? It's been a minute.
I think it's been more than a year since we've seen each other. We go way back. Like, we low-key go way back, which is
cool. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for hopping on. I've been, when I started this podcast, I was like, I know I need to have Isaac on.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. It's
absolutely. So every episode we start off, I always ask, where are you from? And for you, what was that moment like when you realized that you had to rap or you had to entertain?
Okay. Well, I'm raised in Orlando. I was technically born in Minnesota. I don't really remember it. But yeah, raised in East Orlando. And so, which is cool because as you know, it's a melting pot of everything. So, so between that and my family upbringing, I was exposed to so many different genres and love for music and love for sports, and something about hip hop and rap clicked with me in a really special way. And so I think I felt like I knew I had to rap. All right, here's the story for that. So I technically wrote my first rap in the 3rd grade because some high school neighbor rapped for his talent show, and I thought he was cool, so I was like, I'm going to write a rap. But that's not when I knew it was official. Like, I would have, like, daydreams about being some rap star in, like, 5th grade, but I kind of let it go in middle school. I knew in high school, after my freshman year, I had started a rap group with some friends, got back into it, filling up notebooks, taking in all the documentaries I could and anything hip hop, I was taking in the content. And in 10th grade, I was not a good rapper yet, but I went to all of my sports coaches and quit the teams to have more time to work on my rap career.
What was their reaction to that?
Disbelief, laughter, I still don't have a deep voice, but my voice was not dropped at all. I'm a little chubby, just got my braces off, and I'm saying, like, I need to go work on my rap career. I'm sorry I can't play volleyball. Like,
that's amazing.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're a battle rapper. When did you decide that you wanted to give that a shot? Were you always a fan of battle rap, or did you just kind of fall into it?
Yeah, no, I was definitely a fan. Battle rap and freestyle rap and, like, cafeteria battles was always something I was interested in. I remember in middle school, I was part of a group that brought in this rapper named Genesis. And after the show, we were, like, throwing words at him, and he was freestyling, and I was like, this is amazing. And it had this battle rap energy to it because he would just, like, use it as a punchline. So it was always something that I was so attracted to. As someone who loved sports, it's got that competitive nature. As, like, a theater improv kid, there's the freestyle rebuttal element, right? And then, of course, it's hip-hop at its core, which is what I was all about and am all about. So I loved it. I would watch it, Freestyle Fridays, BET, all that sort of stuff. And then it's funny. My senior year of high school, I went to an event at UCF called Battle of the Elements, which is for all different elements of hip-hop. There's DJ, graffiti artists, B-boys, all of it, and, of course, MC battles. I just went to watch, right? And then I hear my name get called because somebody put my name in without telling me. My friend Raiden put my name in. And so I get called. I go up there to battle, stumble through the first round, but win, which was cool. Like, it just wasn't a good, like, grouping, and I was the, tallest of the bunch. But then I kind of found my steam, and I ended up winning this tournament, right? And so I win this like battle rap tournament, and some people come up to me and they're like, hey, we're part of this league called Grind Time. And this is like 2008. So Grind Time was just before it had even blown up, but it was like a baby. It's like, we're part of Grind Time. A couple of our battlers were in that tournament. You faced a couple of them. Like, we would love to get you involved. And my response was, no, I'm an artist. No, thank you. I don't, because at the time it was like battle rappers can't make music, you know? And I was like a punk kid. Well, I was a nice kid. So it's funny. I give that response as if I was all high and mighty, but that same night, I didn't even get the trophy presentation because I had a curfew that I didn't want to break. So I had to get home as a high schooler with all these college kids. Like, I had to come later, like 2 days later, and come pick up the trophy from some girl's dorm. Like, I told my parents the story, and they were like, you could have stayed for the trophy. Like,
that's amazing. So who was your first battle? Like your real, like, broadcasted, filmed, put on YouTube battle?
Yeah, so years later, maybe 3 years later, Grind Time's a huge deal. I'm a super fan. I'm a Grind Time super fan. One of my closest friends in the Orlando hip hop community is one of the owners of Grind Time, and I am begging for an audition. I'm begging for a tryout, even though I like could have been a big deal already if I would have been smarter in 2008. So I finally get a tryout, and I get thrown into the wolves, not necessarily competition-wise, because my first battle was against another first-timer, but my first event, I had 2 battles. So my first event, it was co-hosted by Conceited, who, you know, is on Wild and Out, and Math Hoffa, and there's a bunch of legends in the building, and I actually had 2 battles. My first one was against another rookie named Kane, and so I battled him, and that one I handled pretty easily. And then literally the next battle of the event was me again, against a dude named Hindu Rock, and so I battled this guy Hindu Rock. And it's an amazing, amazing battle, especially for the time. Like, I'm not proud of everything I said in hindsight, but at the time it was a really great battle. And the judges gave it to him. But on video, the response was so overwhelmingly in my favor that it created all of this conversation in the chat and the comments about, at the time, it was being viewed as one of the clearest robberies on Grind Time. And so the judges giving me a loss there created so much buzz that's what, like, shot me out of that bottom tier of, like, just a new rookie to, like, no, we want more Isaac Knox battles. And so for the first couple years of battling, I had some really great momentum that started with the fact that I lost and the fans disagreed. So
that's amazing. I was listening or watching a lot of battle raps when I was in high school. Now, I graduated in 2014. So, you know, Grind Time was at its height when I started paying attention. I paid attention to A-Hat. I don't even know if that's still a league. But so growing up loving battle rap, I've never done it. It's something I don't think that I could do, but I love it. And to me, it's amazing to know so many people.
I've seen video evidence that you could do well at it. I've seen some bars you spat for
the Wild and Out. Yeah.
Yeah,
you think so?
You can battle. I'm not saying you have to, but you could.
See, there's one of those things, and the same thing when we have to talk about stand-up comedy. Like, I've written stand-up comedy, but it terrifies me. Battle rap and stand-up comedy terrify me, and I want to try both at least once, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But you know audition life. You know, you're an actor. You know what that's like. So you know that sometimes those nerves, that excitement fuels you, and that there's a thrill to doing something that makes you nervous. I'll tell you that every rap battle I do, even as I got like 50 on YouTube now that are like official battles. So I've done it a lot, but there's this moment where I'm not nervous at the event. I'm not nervous the day of, but then we actually get there about to film. And when they do the introductions, I am nervous from the introduction until my first positive reaction, until I have a bar that lands with people.
Yeah.
And then I can go, oh, you like that? I got more for you. This is going to go well. But there's that, small few seconds where I am so nervous because I don't know how it's going to land.
Right.
But that's part of the thrill.
Yeah. So now I'm feeling hyped. Now I feel like I got to try. I got to give it a go. But no, I love that I know so many people who do it. So between you, Jordan, Loso, I don't know if you know Joe Waters. He's a Tampa-based rapper who's been getting into the battle rap scene, and I love going to the events. I haven't seen you perform live yet or for battle rap, but I love going to see Loso and Joe perform. Most recently, I think the last time I went was like a 5-star dive bar in Tampa.
Okay.
And I saw Joe battle there, and I just love the energy that's always in a crowd for battle rap. It's just always so hype and exciting, and it's just a lot of fun. So, do you have any battles lined up?
No, not at the moment. So, I signed with a league called Guardians of the Culture, and I signed with them at about the start of the year, and so. So then Corona hit. So I had one battle with them that hasn't come out yet, and then another battle that had to be rescheduled. Then COVID happened, and now the league is reorganizing a little bit. So hopefully I'll have some coming up. But I've also been using this time to like do other creative things that I love that I haven't done in a while. And so it's this balance, but hopefully I'll be battling again soon.
Yeah, especially if there's any like in the Orlando, even Atlanta area, let me know because I'm gonna be in the building. I want to be there to support you, see you live. So
Awesome,
just let me
man.
know. Yeah. Okay, so free daps. Can you explain what free daps is to anybody who may not know?
Yeah, free daps. So we are a freestyle rap company. We're a crew of MCs and improvisers that do completely off the top improvised rap shows for any kind of audience. It's really funny, but it's also really dope. There are other like hip hop improv troupes, and we try to make it clear that we're rappers first. Like we're funny and charismatic, and we can play to an audience, but it's like we are battle MCs, we are hip hop artists, we are rap nerds, in the best sense that like we care about the art form so much. But we go everywhere and just make up these freestyle rap shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway mixed with 8 Mile mixed with actual improv. So yeah, that's what we do. We play colleges, hip hop events, corporate events, festivals, schools, Disney. We've done NBA halftime shows. It's great, man. I love it.
So before it became a company, what was the start? It was you and Jordan, right? And you guys were a duo?
Yeah. So Freedap started as the rap duo of myself and Jordan. We were part of a group before. And when that kind of split off, Jordan and I wanted to keep making music. And so we started under the name Free Daps, which was actually Jordan's idea for the name. We spent months thinking of a name. And it was kind of like our hip hop spin on the Free Hugs idea of like, there's a lot that comes after the greeting, the business side, the grind, all these tough things, these weighty things. But that initial dap, that like, welcome in the building, we were welcomed into hip hop. So we want to do the same for anybody else. Who are we to be gatekeepers? Free daps.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you guys come to determine that free daps was something that you could turn into a business, you could market, and you could make profitable? Like what was that like?
Yeah. So So the freestyle side of it, which is what the company is now, because at first it was just a rap duo making music, and then we would freestyle for fun, and freestyle is part of our shows. But I actually started freestyling on the street with like a tip bucket out with a friend of mine out in Venice Beach, California, and it was like, oh wow, there's like a great response to this. And this was like 2013. This was, you've seen guys do the same formula since then. But we started taking it to, I'm sorry, I don't have water with me. Started taking it to like festivals, especially in Canada. In Canada is where we were like, oh wow, I'm making like pay my bills money on the street with a bucket out.
That's amazing.
And that's when it was like, there's something special about this. Jordan got involved really soon after I was doing it. I was like, I don't want to do this without Jordan because he's the best. And so once that started really growing into like the biggest financial piece of our year was going out and doing that, we were pursuing other avenues, and we saw that Disney was doing an open call for like variety performers for downtown Disney at the time, which is now Disney Springs. And we sent in YouTube clips that people took with their cell phones of us. Like, we didn't have any official video. We just like sent like, here's video people have taken of us, and got an audition. And once we landed a residency at Disney, it was like, oh, this is the thing. This is the branch of the Freed Apps tree, and like the Isaac and Jordan tree that is going to be the business that's going to be what opens all the other doors. And so we've leaned into it. We became an LLC. We hired and trained other performers, and you know, it's been amazing.
I remember when you guys got or I don't know, I don't remember if there was an official announcement or what it was, but I remember when you guys started at Disney Springs, and I remember just being like, oh no, that's a big deal. That's amazing. I couldn't have been happier for you guys. I'll go on YouTube and try to find clips of you guys at Disney. And I always notice how engaged the audiences are, because, you know, especially just being involved in hip hop, a lot of people are always kind of enamored with the idea of freestyle. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I mean, it's definitely much harder in my opinion. I've studied improv as an actor since I'm 8 years old, and I feel like I'm good at that. But there's just something about freestyle rapping, the constant, you have to keep going of it, that I think just keeps everybody engaged. Is that something that you found too?
Yeah, it's cool. You're right. There's something constant about it. There's the element of the beat and the creativity. There was actually a study on how it engages both sides of the brain, because like the logical side knows the music and the count and things need to land here, and there's a template. But then there's obviously the creative side that's filling it up with ideas and engaging with it in different ways. And I think that the same happens from an audience perspective, where there's not these awkward pauses because there's music and there's momentum and all of that, but there's also these pops of punchline and joke, and even an element of suspense or stunt, in that it's like, ooh, will he be able to land this, or where's he going? And so when it lands, it's this like, oh, the magic trick happened, or he landed the flip, you know. And so I think that there is something that we didn't realize was so magical about it that really does translate, and is why it becomes this bridge from hip hop culture. It's a very specific art form within hip hop culture, forms this bridge to people that maybe didn't identify or didn't enjoy or think they would enjoy hip hop before, but now they're part of this creative process. They're seeing it being made, and there's this connection of like, you were part of this, or you witnessed something that won't happen again, and that's what really like hooks people, and it's something I'm really passionate about with it.
Yeah. So when you go into the studio to record a song, how often do you just freestyle, or do you always go in with something written?
Man, it's so weird. You would think I would freestyle more often, but I think that there's part of me that because I freestyle so much, I almost like the careful crafting of music as well. It's almost like I treat the different elements of things that I do almost as rest from the others. You know what I mean? Like I'll take a break from live performing by producing. I'll take a break from freestyling by writing. I'll take a break from, you know what I mean? And and so there's part of me that like wants to eventually record something that's completely freestyled. I have an idea of like recording a live album where I have like beats and like an album's worth of beats, but I actually freestyle for a live audience the entire album, and then it's like recorded and put out.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So that's stuff I want to do, but I don't mix them a lot in the studio. It happened one time with like a really like deep song on the first Free Daps album. We had a song called J.O.B. that was talking about like our lowest times, but still being on our J.O.B., but also, you know, not that our lives have been as bad as like biblical Job, but the idea of like, this is my J.O.B. Job feeling, but I'm still on my job. But I started talking about a time in my life where I was like sleeping in my car in a Planet Fitness parking lot, and I ended up freestyling 4 bars in the middle of that verse that was just like, this needs to be said, or this needs to be like explained, that I just did it once, and then I was like, oh, I'm keeping that. I just had, you know, so it happened one time where a 16-bar verse became a 20 because like I just had something on my heart that showed up while I was recording it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so you are what's it called, the Guinness World Record holder for longest freestyle. Are you still the holder?
Yes, I'm part of the team record.
Right.
So so I'm part of the team longest freestyle. I think the official name is like Team KJ52 because he organized it. There's like 5 of us on the team, and 12 hours and 5 minutes, I think, is the record.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was a cool thing. Like I had met KJ, which is cool because, you know, and I know he's tired of hearing this, but like I grew up listening to you, KJ. And so got to know him, good dude. And so he put together the format, and one of the things we did was every hour it would switch from a group hour of freestyle to a solo hour of freestyle. So it was cool. It was like you got to like prepare for your hour, not prepare the rhymes, but like make a beat tape. And so I had like an hour of beats I really liked freestyling over. So when it was my turn, I was like, I know this is gonna keep me going. It was cool.
I remember watching as much of that live stream as I possibly could, because you guys did that over at Crossover, which was just the perfect spot to do it.
Absolutely.
And I remember, because like I said, I was still in high school when you guys did that. And I always loved the freestyle aspect of hip hop, and also to me, just I kind of associate freestyle with battle rap. I know it's not really the case a lot of times now. But you know, thinking back to 8 Mile and stuff like that, or just freestyle battle in the lunchroom, like you said. And so I was just enamored with that, and I probably watched at least 5 hours of it. I wish I watched the whole thing, but is that video out there somewhere, like of all 12 hours?
Yeah, I think they're broken up into hour-long segments, but I think they're all out there. Yeah, because I've seen them pop up on YouTube every now and again, and then like I'll try to watch, and I'll be like, this is really quantity over quality. Like it's hard for me to go back and watch myself. But yeah, I think they're all out there.
That's dope. I need to go back and watch as many as I can, because I remember that was just really, really dope. All of you did a phenomenal job. How does it feel to be able to say that you are part of the team that holds a Guinness World Record?
It's so cool, man. It's something. It opens doors and adds legitimacy. You know, I teach a lot of freestyle rap classes, so when I travel. I do this a lot when I book battle events. Like, for instance, if I'm doing a battle in Vancouver, I'll reach out to the improv theater there, Vancouver Theater Sports. They'll be like, hey, I'm in town. Would you like to do like a rap class? And so when I do that in new cities, being able to say I'm a Guinness World Record holder opens the door for them to be like, yeah, let's use this guy. But also when they promote the classes, you know, it just, again, it's that legitimacy. And it's just a fun thing to say. My favorite fun fact, though, is that the solo record is longer than the team record, which speaks so much to the like competitive one-up nature of hip-hop.
Right.
That, like, someone would rather rap for 20 hours by themselves than for 12 hours with friends.
So do you find yourself ever, you know, being competitive like that and saying, no, I'm going to beat this guy?
Yeah, for the solo record?
Yeah, for the solo record.
I think about it a lot. I have to check who officially holds it. So for a while, some friends of mine were like separate friends in different corners of the map. We're all going to go for that record. And I didn't want to take the record from a friend. So I need to like check who holds it. And if it's not somebody that I know personally, then I'll go take it. So.
And you can do it. I've seen you freestyle. You can do it.
Yeah.
I want to experience that. That's amazing. So let's get to the big news. You just dropped your debut album.
Yes. So
Mile One mixtape.
My first solo project ever. It's called the Mile One Mixtape. I treated it a lot like an album, but it so heavily features samples that it's a mixtape, and that there's no way I can sell it. Like I would owe money to like 100 artists on a 7-song album. Or I guess they're labels. So 2 labels. I just dropped Mile One Mixtape. It's a quarantine passion project. It felt cool because I've always prioritized free daps and still do. So I never was allowing myself to make these solo songs. I would write pieces, produce pieces, and be like, yeah, someday. I've always viewed like my own music stuff as like the reward for succeeding in other areas, for getting the group off to a place where they can all like eat for years and not like need me. Like, then I can do these passion projects. But quarantine gave me this opportunity. It shut down, 2 months of college tours that we were going to do, live shows and other recordings we were going to do as a group. Our group's been staying really socially distant because there's, like family lung issues and immune system things that like COVID can make worse. So all that to say was I found myself in a studio, not able to see my friends or tour. So I was like, if this is going to be in any way a gift, if there's any silver lining, it's that now I can make whatever I personally want to make. And so I made this album, and I'm really, really proud of it. The responses have been overwhelmingly good. Like it's better than I could have dreamed so far.
Yeah.
It just hasn't reached a ton of ears yet.
I'm pulling it up now on my phone. I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet. I have a drive today, and I'm gonna listen through. So 7 songs. How many songs did you? Because when I make a project, I always outline it. That's just how my brain works. Did you have an outline that you tried to match, or did you make more than 7 songs? What was the journey like for you with this?
Yeah, originally I was aiming for 5 songs, and then it was taking so much time that I was like, I almost feel like I owe people a little bit longer project, with how long like quarantine's been. But yeah, it wasn't so much an outline of exact songs as it was, I knew the outline of what I wanted the like energy to be, the like underlying story of it. And so I'm actually the son of a motivational speaker who is a marathon runner. And I grew up watching all the like inspirational true story movies that ever existed. And like in the same way that we all grew up watching Lion King and Recess, I was also watching Olympic highlight DVDs hosted by Bob Costas of like everything that happened in the 1980 Olympics and 1982 and 1996 and the Winter Games. So like that kind of energy has really been like a foundation of my life, and I've always kind of shuttered it away like it was I think maybe a younger me wouldn't have known how to bring that into hip hop without it feeling really like corny and disconnected.
Right.
And so this is a project where you hear that exists, but there's no blind optimism. It's real, it's grounded, it's got my humor as a comedian, it's got my bars as a battle rapper, it's got my musical taste as a producer, as a like movie lover. It's a mix of all of these different things. And then the very like underlying thing is like, I want you to feel like you can run a mile after this. I'm not going to be cheesy. I'm not going to say that like it's easy or you have to, or like it's not going to be any of this. I'm not holding pom-poms, but it's one of those like, the world is tough, but we can also like, I can poke fun at it here, but be real about how dark it is here. Now you have no excuse not to go run a mile. Like that's kind of the feeling that I tried to bring to it.
So if there was one song on this album that you would recommend, obviously we want everybody to listen to the whole thing, but what's that one song for you?
Okay. The one song is a mild departure from the rest of how the rest of it sounds sonically. It's track 3. It's called And a Movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a music video dropping for this song pretty soon. Or I don't know when this episode comes out. The video might be out. But yeah, it's called And a Movie. It's a really like cool, laid back, but also some of my favorite stylistic rapping on it. But the hook is give my life 6 seasons in a movie. It's inspired by the TV show Community. That was their campaign, was 6 seasons in a movie. And
I'm
so
binging Community now, by the way. For the first time. For the first time, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Love the show.
Well, yeah, the beat is made from a little. There's a little sample of one of the characters humming in season 3, and I basically produced around that melody.
Awesome.
And so it's inspired by the show, but it's not about the show.
Right.
It's about give my life 6 seasons in a movie, and just like boom, my life's gonna be this cool, and this is all I need, and like there's really cool stuff that I say in it. And then it's also just inspired by one of my favorite sitcoms. So yeah.
I can't wait to listen to this. I'm gonna, like I said, I have a drive today, and I'm gonna listen to the whole thing, and I'll text you and give you my feedback. I did see somebody tag you. It might have been Jordan who said that number 3 was their favorite, and what they're most proud of you for this. I think it was Jordan.
Yeah. So Jordan said that. It's been cool, man. Like real. Like, this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. The project had only been out for like 6 hours, and literally every song had been somebody's favorite, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, for sure.
That was like, and I know 7 songs isn't a ton, but like the feedback, the range of it, of people, people who said track 1 was their favorite, or said the final track was their favorite, or everyone in between. But track 3's been the like, unanimous people seem to really like that one. So coming off of this, I can sense the excitement. How hungry are you to do another album, another solo drop? Man, it's funny. So here's where I am like a major planner. So I don't necessarily, I guess I'll not overthink this. I put in work on 3 or 4 future solo projects, like not songs. Like I have a handful of songs that are already like in the works for multiple projects. And again, I thought that a lot of this I wasn't going to get to till later in life. but I really do like the idea of Mile One mixtape being like the best way I could possibly introduce myself as an artist. You know, I'll have a follow-up project that hopefully will come out in the fall. That'll be another free project, and then those two mixtape style projects are like the backlog for being able to really launch some like Spotify, iTunes, let's go try and get an attention from like industry people kind of project that should come out early next year. And then I got even more to capitalize on. I've started a couple songs that are like, I realize people sound like, you know, they're overhyping themselves when they say stuff like this, but I have a couple songs where it's like, I can't even put this out until I have a big enough platform, because I don't want to like undervalue this song by putting it out too early. So I have a couple that are like shelved for when that happens, and then all the stuff I'm making on the way there.
That's incredible, man. I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you, and I can't wait to hear it. And I'm also going to put it out there. I'm available for a feature. Just let me know.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
I'm available. So you're going to treat the audience to a little freestyle rap.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah. What do you think? You ready?
I'm ready. What am I freestyling about?
Okay. Is it cool if I throw some words out at you? We'll start out with starving artists.
Starving artists, of course. Starving. I should have predicted that. All right. Should I turn this down? How's the volume mix? Hey,
sounds good to me.
Yeah. It sounds good. Yup. They say I start the hardest. I'm just here with starving artists. Yeah, you know that right here I'm the smartest barsmith. A starving artist, but we go across the country. We ain't worried about the money. I'm starving because I'm hungry. So I be eating. You know that I'm the winner. I'm getting in the dinner plate, but I ain't looking thinner. I'm getting thicker like the beat when I gotta feast. Yeah, I gotta eat. I'm the beauty and the beast.
Motivation.
What was that word?
Motivation.
My flow's amazing. Yes, I could go to nations. After that, they say that I won't slow or phase then. Nah, I got the motivation like a motivational speaker. Yeah, I be going quicker like I was a tweaker. But when I teach words, you know that you in the bleachers, because I be on the track, I be in my sneakers. Yeah.
Free daps.
You react. You know that I got a flow that relapse. Make the flow bust your kneecaps. Yeah, you'll be excited when we be back. You need that. Where is the street ads? Yeah, you need every Facebook react.
Stand up.
Stand up. You know this is my anthem. Stand up like hands up like I just had the answer. But you know that this man's tough. Now let's go to stand up. But honestly, I probably need to get on stage so I can give you some more comedy. Yeah, you know the flow is tight. I could do it overnight. You know that you're on the list, and I'm not talking open mics. We got comedy. Yeah, I do it quite live. Freestyle for 12 hours. What's easy? A type 5. Hey.
Scooby-Doo.
He was messing with the Rubik's Cube. Who are you? You're in a super group. Yeah. You get chewed like juicy fruit. Scooby-Doo when I'm rocking a concert. What I'll offer. Take my mask off, you know I'm a monster. Yeah. I'm rapping badly. Nah, it ain't too shabby. But it's like Scooby-Doo in quarantine. I was Shaggy. Yeah. And now
New York Knicks.
So mean. Mystery Machine. I've been listening. What?
New York Knicks.
New York Knicks. I freestyled. He was like, dude, you're sick. Yeah, never getting off this. I be watching The Office more times than New York Knicks losses. Woo! Highly likely. See me in
Mile
the
One
like
mixtape.
Spike Lee. What was that one?
Sorry, Mile One mixtape.
Oh, Mile One mixtape. Freestyle because it's great. Yeah. Now you know that you can't get with that. You're going to be excited when you hear all 7 tracks. See, I'm the new dude with a cool crew. You want to listen to it, the whole thing's on YouTube. Or it's on Bandcamp if you want to hear me, but you can see like the style I gave you, it is free. Hey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that gift.
You're welcome, man.
That was amazing. You are Truly amazing. I got to take one of your freestyle classes because I got to figure this out. So we always end this asking if there was any bit of advice that you could give to any starving artist out there, any aspiring actor, stand-up comedian, battle rapper, whatever it may be. What advice would you give them?
Man, I'll give you a recent piece of advice that's really spoken to me, right?
Okay.
And so, so you and I, we go back into the church world. We had similar upbringings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the type where I don't usually get preachy in these kinds of things, but there's this amazing example that was brought up to me recently that happens to come from the Bible. So in the Bible, King David is one of the greatest kings of all time. It's something like, and again, I don't know where any listeners identify faith-wise, and I'm not here to talk about that, but King David was one of the greatest kings of all time. When he was found, he was chosen by a guy named King Saul, who was searching the whole nation and found this unknown, untested, but really gifted diamond in the rough that was King David, and he pulled him out and made him king. So what has been incredible about that message, and a lot of us starving artists, and I feel this all the time, is you see other people get their blow up. You see other people get their opportunity, and you're working and you're grinding sometimes for years. You'll get excited about a project and it'll underperform, or there'll be all these missed opportunities, and you'll feel like, man, why have I been working so long and I'm still under the radar? And just this message that, like, you might not think you have the platform, but keep putting the work in, because there might be a Saul that finds you and makes you king. Like, I know that it's that old idea of like, I want to be discovered, and it's not being lazy and just depending on other people, but knowing that if you are really doing good work, that people who recognize that and have a platform might pull you out of the crowd before the person that's got 200,000 followers. You know what I mean? It happens, and that's kind of the word that I've been using lately. That's not my usual piece of advice, but that's one that's hit home for me recently, is like, someone can still find you and make you king, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I know I'm definitely leaving this inspired, and I believe that the rest of the audience is as well. So Isaac Knox, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast, bro. I really appreciate you. And like I said, I'll be listening to Mile One Mixtape today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Love what you're doing, bro. Love it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. All right, guys, this has been another episode of Starving Artist. Please go look up Isaac Knox. Look up his album. Look him up on Instagram, on Twitter. You want to give your handles out?
Yeah, on everything, it's just I'm Isaac Knox. I am Isaac Knox. And so, yeah, I'm Isaac Knox on everything. And follow Free Daps, which is just Free Daps, DAPS.
Absolutely. All right. So we will see you guys next week. Thanks so much.